Hi, I'm going to talk to you about the dopamine pathways, the mesolimbic pathway, and the mesocortical pathway. So it's important to know that dopamine is a monoamine, and it originally originates from tyrosine that becomes L-dopa and then dopamine. And so it's important to note that dopamine does not cause pleasure, actually. What it does is that it strengthens a relationship between something that is pleasureful and action. So it strengthens the urge to repeat behaviors or to pursue something because you've associated that thing with pleasure as dopamine is released. And this is how people can get addicted to substances or behaviors, repetitive behaviors. And so the mesolimbic pathway right here is from the ventral tegmental area, and then it goes to the nucleus accumbens and in the midbrain. And also it hits the amygdala, the hippocampus, and the medial prefrontal cortex. And when it goes to the amygdala, that is your fear conditioning aspects, and it triggers cravings. Also, the hippocampus, it's that it establishes those memories with like those pleasurable things that you like, or with your rewards. And then the medial prefrontal cortex is what helps evaluate those rewards, like how rewarding were they, and it helps drive decision making. So, and the primary route is the nucleus accumbens, and it stimulates a reward and reinforces behaviors, and it helps with survival, like eating, sex, social bonding, those types of rewards. But what is the significance of this? It's important to note that dopamine can be helpful and it can be toxic. So dopamine can be released when with exercise, with healthy relationships, like we said, social settings, friendships, little things, or it could be released with excessive shopping or binge eating or binge watching. And so here we see the pathway. We see here in the ventral tegmental area, and that goes to the mesolimbic area, the nucleus accumbens. That's what that does. And we're able to see that it reroutes to other areas as well with the other pathways in the dopamine, with other dopamine pathways. So the mesolimbic reward pathway is significant because with drug abuse, this can lead to addiction. And overactivity of the mesolimbic pathway can lead to hallucinations and delusions with schizophrenia. And antipsychotics would block the dopamine in that aspect. So, and then what if it's underactive? Then you would have depression. You would have a person that's not necessarily motivated to do the thing, because with the mesolimbic reward pathway, you have the driving motivation, you have reinforcing behaviors, and you have updating of expectations. Yes, that was worth it. That's something that I should do. Okay, so then let's talk a little bit about the mesocortical pathway. And so it comes from the same area, the ventral tegmental area, and then it goes here. It projects to the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and the ventral medial prefrontal cortex. And so the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is in charge of cognition, the working memory, and the executive function. And when it goes to the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, that's in charge of your emotional regulation, that decision making, social behavior. And so, and it aids with cognition, executive function, and emotion and motivation, attention and focus, and it also integrates with the mesolimbic, so helps with the brain evaluate and act on rewards. So why is this important? If the mesocortical pathway is not working, and it's hypoactive, then we're gonna have the flat affect from schizophrenia. We're gonna have the lack of motivation and the lack of speech, or the speech poverty, they call it, impaired executive function with schizophrenia. You can have depression and ADHD because of that lack of attention factor that happens in the prefrontal cortex. And so that's really important. So here we have it, the mesolimbic pathway and the mesocortical pathway. And here where it projects its function, pathology, and it's all really important. Thanks.